Okay, with power functions, there are a few definitions that you need to know. One of them is the degree. The degree is the highest exponent that's represented. Odd functions have an odd degree. You can see where the next one's headed. Even functions have an even degree. There are certain characteristics of each type, and we're not going to get into that right now. It deals with symmetry around the axes and around the origin. Okay, I'll say it anyway. Odd functions are symmetric about the origin, and even functions are symmetric about the y-axis. I'll say this very quickly. Odd functions, this is not an all-inclusive list, but they look like this. Basically, whatever you have going up here, you have going down over here. Or they'll go like this. That one should have been a straight line. Even functions, on the other hand, are going to be like that. Or like that. Now, I just drew power functions. An actual even function may not go through the origin. Okay. But the formula, W equals 0.0084 c to the third, uses the circumference of an orange in inches to estimate its shipping weight in ounces. So we're going to be given the circumference and have to find the shipping weight. This one is not going to be difficult at all. Actually, you can probably close your eyes and do this. So W equals 0. I don't recommend you close your eyes, but it's probably possible. 84 c to the third. And they said the circumference is 9 inches. So we know that's 9. You can really see where this is going. And you've probably already reached for your calculator. It's a good thing to do. Hard to do this in your head. Hope you got what I got. You can round that somewhere if you like. That's going to be so many ounces, abbreviated OZ. There's that one. Okay, but now it gets tricky. What is the diameter of an orange that weighs 8 ounces? Whoa, where'd diameter come from, Mr. Reader? Well, thanks for asking. Let's forget that it said diameter for a minute, okay? Let's just solve. Let's find the circumference. We'll deal with the diameter later. Because they gave me the weight, we're going to put the weight here. So here's the second question. And we're going to solve for the circumference. Again, let's ignore the diameter question, and we'll just solve for the circumference first. So let's just divide by this. We'll cancel those out. Now, c to the third is equal to that beautiful thing right there we get when we divide. Don't know what that is, but I'm about to find out. I got 952.38. 952.38. Now, we need to find the cube root of that. There is a button on your calculator called Math. There's a lot of neat tricks in there. So if you press Math, you'll see the cube root button. You're going to take the cube root of 952.38. And that is equal to c. So whatever you get from there is going to give you your circumference. All right. So our circumference is 9.84. And our circumference actually is in inches. And that's great, but we're not done. Because it said, what's the diameter? Well, oh, whoa, wait, we have circumference, we need diameter. So we need a formula that relates the circumference to the diameter. I think we can come up with something. I hope this looks familiar. Circumference is pi times the diameter. Well, that's going to be easy. 9.84 equals pi times d. We will divide both sides by pi. We'll use the pi button on our calculator. So divide that last answer you got by pi, and you're going to get 3.13. Okay, for the next problem, it asks you to solve a rather odd function. It's a power function. But I wanted to make sure you understood how to take roots other than square roots and cube roots on the calculator. And I want to point out a very common mistake. So the problem is 8 equals 1.2 x to the 0.47. And we want to find out what x is. So we have 8 equals 1.2 x to the 0.47. Okay, first we got to get rid of that 1.2. So we're going to divide by 1.2. So 8 divided by 1.2, and we get 6.6 repeating, x to the 0.47. Okay, let's think about this for just a second. If this was squared, we would take a square root. If it was cubed, we'd take a cube root. If it was to the fourth, we'd take a fourth root. But it's not. It's to the 0.47. We're going to take a 0.47th root. On paper, it looks like this. This is not paper, this is a board. 0.47th root of 6 2/3 equals x. On the calculator, this is exactly what you will type. You need to type the root first. We are going to take the 0.47th root. And then we need to press math. And depending on the type of calculator that you have, some of them are number 5, but you need to pick this one right here. And then you'll type 6.6. Just put a bunch of sixes so your calculator will kind of get the point of where you're going with that. And then you'll press equals. Okay, let me tell you what not to do. I'll give you a second to type that in though. Hope you got what I got. I got 56.62. Let me tell you what not to do. Very, very common mistake. Do not let this happen to you. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Some people will type this. Don't you do it. They'll do 0.47 and then they'll hit the square root. And then they'll do 6.6 repeating. They'll put a few sixes in there. That is wrong. That is 0.47 times the square root of this. We don't want the square root of that. We want the 0.47th root of that. Okay?